Good morning, I'm Gretchen Ho. It is a Tuesday, the 8th day of July, bringing you Morning Matters because your mornings matter. Let's get to the stories that matter today. Citing alarming social and economic fallout, several legislators are pushing for a total ban or at the very least, tighter control of online gambling. Senator Mig Zubiri also called on celebrity endorsers to stop their promotion of online gambling.
Umapela din kami sa mga sikat na mga celebrities. Let's not use your position to encourage more online gaming. Nakikita niyo naman yung nangyayari na yun. Baka pwede na kayo mag-pull out mismo. Alam ko malaking bayad sa inyo. But pag-isipan niyo naman na nangyayari na yun sa ating mga kabataan, sa ating mga kababayan, no?
Malacanang urges private hospitals to submit required documents for prompt government payment. Now, this statement comes as the Private Hospitals Association of the Philippines voiced alarm over payment delays, prompting some members to reevaluate the acceptance of guarantee letters for indigent care. And motorists violating traffic rules under the no contact apprehension policy will be notified through text and email. MMDA Chairman Romando Artes said that these official alerts will not include payment links and advised the public to beware of scams. Welcome to our program, Morning Matters, where we talk about the issues you need to know for the rest of your day. Now, first on the agenda, several lawmakers are calling for a total ban or at the very least, stricter regulation of online gambling, citing its alarming social and economic consequences. Here is the report.
Senator Mig Zubiri is pushing for a total ban on all forms of online gambling in the Philippines, including those authorized by PAGCOR. Under the Anti-Online Gambling Act filed by the Senator, online gambling will not only face stricter regulations but will be completely prohibited. Zubiri argued that even with tighter regulations, operators often still find ways to get around the law.
Unang-una po sa aking listahan ng Anti-Online Gambling Act kung saan maglalagay po tayo ng blanket ban sa lahat ng uri ng online gambling. Hindi na po ito basta regulation, total ban na po ito. Para tuluyan na natin matigil ang online gambling na umuubos ng pera ng ating mga kababayan mula sa iba't ibang sektor. And similar to how we banned e-sabong, similar how we banned Pogo, ito ay magandang hakbang para matanggal na po itong addiction sa ating mga kababayan. From our elderly to our children, it is so easy to fall victim to the silent epidemic of online gambling.
Zubiri also made an appeal to the president to support the move, saying a clear position from the country's highest official would carry great weight, especially since powerful individuals are behind many of the online gambling operations. He even claimed that some politicians are involved in the industry.
I appeal to the president, Mr. President, let's do something about this. We can't just take this sitting down. That income is not enough justification for the social ills that it will cause our country. Dito din sa online gaming, it will take the president a lot of political will. Because Filipino operated ito, marami din siya kaibigan na nagmamayari nito mga kumpanya na ito. And I think he will show great leadership. No, he will show great leadership if he puts an end to this online gaming and gambling for the Filipino people. Na makikita talaga na without fear or favor, for the good of the country, we can earn this 47 billion elsewhere.
Zubiri stresses as long as online gambling continues, vices will also persist, draining not just Filipino savings but even their government aid.
Kahit ang mga authorized online games ng PAGCOR, the taxes earned are not worth the social cost. Nasisira na po ang buhay ng ating mga kababayan. Nag-aaway-away na po ang ating mga pamilya. Tumataas ang kaso ng krimen. Nababaon na sa gabundok na utang ang manggagawang Pilipino, which then severely affects their mental health. Marami na rin pong kaso ng suicides.
Zubiri added that even mall operators have begun feeling the economic pinch, with fewer families going out because household funds are being lost to online gambling. Zubiri also made a public appeal to celebrities endorsing gambling sites to stop promoting online gambling.
So, maapela din kami sa mga sikat na mga celebrities. Let's not use your position to encourage more online gaming. Nakikita niyo naman yung nangyayari na yun. Baka pwede na kayo mag-pull out mismo. Alam ko malaking bayad sa inyo. But pag-isipan nyo naman ang nangyayari na yun sa ating mga kabataan, sa ating mga kababayan.
Senator J.V. Ejercito called for the government to impose stricter controls, calling electronic gambling worse than Philippine offshore gaming operators or POGOs. Prior to that, Senator Sherwin Gatchalian had also filed a bill that seeks to impose stricter regulations against online gambling.
Pag tinotal ban, ang aking concern baka mag-underground sila. No? Kasi napakadaling mag-set up ng website.
Under the measure, the minimum age for players would be raised from 18 to 21. Age verification would require both a valid ID and biometric data. The bill also sets a 10,000 pesos minimum bet and a 5,000 pesos minimum wallet top-up. It prohibits linking e-wallets such as GCash to gambling apps.
Ngayon kasi pwede ka mag-GCash, ililink mo dito eh. Iyon ang nagiging napakadali na kasi. No? So, pinutol namin yung link na yan.
The proposed measure also bans gambling sponsorships of public events and campaign donations and requires regulators to allocate a portion of collected regulatory fees to set up gambling addiction rehabilitation centers. Over at the lower chamber, a bill seeking to regulate online gambling platforms in the country has been filed. The Contra Isugal bill filed by the Anakbayan party list limits access to online gambling platforms to individuals aged 21 and above and mandates platforms to require government-issued identification for registration, said the party list.
Malacanang said President Bongbong Marcos is open to the Department of Finance's proposal to tax online gaming operators or gambling operators as long as it is backed by a thorough study. In a briefing, Palace Press Officer Undersecretary Claire Castro said the President is closely monitoring the situation and understands public concern over the rise in gambling addiction. He added that the government is also looking to strengthen regulation, especially against unregistered and illegal gambling operations. When asked if the issue will be included in the President's upcoming State of the Nation address, Castro said it is still uncertain, especially with a senator also pushing for a total ban on online gambling in the industry.
Ang Pangulo po ay nakikinig kung ano nangyayari sa ating mga kababayan at kung ano man po ang bill na ipapasa nila, ito'y pag-aaralan mabuti, kung ito'y makakabuti sa ating ekonomiya and at the same time makakabuti para sa taong bayan. Gusto natin limitahan ang itong klaseng mga pagsusugal at mabawasan ang mga gumon sa sugal. At ito po ay para sa taong bayan at ang lahat ng pwedeng suggestion at maaaring batas para ito ay masawata, hindi naman po yan tututulan ng ating Pangulo.
15 active police officers linked to the disappearance of several sabongeros are now under restrictive custody at Camp Crame. The details in this report by Mobile Journal Arles de los Santos.
Wala kaming sasantuhin dito, we will leave no stones unturned.
This is PNP Chief Nicolas Torre III's assurance as the preliminary investigation on the disappearance of dozens of sabongeros go into full swing. The country's top cop confirms 15 policemen are currently under restrictive custody at the Camp Crame after being tagged in the crime. Some of PNP officers' names appeared in petty cash vouchers submitted as evidence by Julie Dondon Patidongan alias Totoy, the self-proclaimed whistleblower in the case. One is a lieutenant colonel. Torre believes there could be more policemen involved.
Basta marami sa kanila is nasa support units, may mga galing sa region, may mga sa APC, ina-account natin at may mga, lahat sila active, may isa is, except for one na due for retirement at tatlo na dismissed. Dati na dismissed, ang identified ng mga pangalan na yan.
Patidongan is now under protective custody of the Philippine National Police. General Torre admits they have been in talks with alias Totoy as well as other witnesses since he was CIDG chief. And per Torre's initial investigation, the victims were burned, buried, and disposed not just in Taal Lake but in other places as well. The PNP chief declined to comment if there are other higher-ranking officials implicated in what could be a massive abduction and murder case.
In the interest of fair play, bigyan natin sila ng pagkakataon din na sagutin yung mga reklamo laban sa kanila. Pero isang sigurado rito, hindi namin sila bibigyan ng puwang na paglaruan ng ating justisya.
For his part, Justice Secretary Boying Remulla also confirmed being in discussions with Patidongan for months now. The alleged whistleblower's application for the DOJ's Witness Protection Program is underway.
Nagkaharap kami 2 months ago at nagkaharap kami ulit 1 month ago. May copy na kami yan. May copy na kami. Binigyan niya na kami ng copy. Ang problema kasi rito, these people were identified as forming part of the group na hindi lang dumukot, ngunit tumapos sa buhay ng mga sabongero. At ang mahalaga lang talaga rito ay maging malinaw ang kanilang partisipasyon dito sa mga pangyayaring tinutukoy natin.
Remulla says there are more witnesses willing to come forward to reveal what they know about the case. The DOJ is committed to hearing all of them out. The Justice Department also discloses that the Supreme Court is investigating members of the judiciary who allegedly fixed businessman Atong Ang's case. SC has not confirmed this. Recall that Patidongan has linked a former judge in Mandaluyong City to Ang, a gambling industry tycoon.
Basta yung ibang behavior na inaano namin, naharta namin, na hindi maganda para sa justice system. Iba. Basta they're doing their job. Ano naman sila eh? Hindi naman sila balit sibuyas eh. They're very sensitive about what should be done to improve our justice system. And that's what we've been agreeing on since we started 3 years ago with the Justice Sector Coordinating Council. Kaya we're always in agreement with regards to how to improve the justice system. And the Supreme Court is the best ally that we have for this.
Apart from Atong Ang and actress Gretchen Barreto, the so-called Alpha Group of Manila Arena has 18 other members now being investigated. And the DOJ says it has the full list.
Ito yung Alpha Group na ating pinanonood ngayon, kung sino-sino ito at kung ano ang kanilang partisipasyon. Kasi kinakailangan yan lahat ma-validate. I cannot reach any conclusions right now. Pero syempre, the witness is the best person to say that. No? We cannot put words into the mouth of the witness. At meron din kami hawak na written statement na that serves as a guide para sa aming pagtingin sa kasong ito.
Mobile Journal Arles de los Santos. We are One News.
NBI Director Jaime Santiago challenged alias Totoy to name the personnel allegedly involved in the disappearance of several sabongeros. Santiago stressed that without specific names, the agency cannot move forward with any investigation. He warned that vague accusations put the entire bureau under suspicion. Santiago added that the NBI remains fully committed to supporting the ongoing probe and is ready to conduct forensic testing, including DNA analysis and lie detector exams to help verify the witnesses' claims. In other news, PHIVOLCS is warning about another possible eruption of Taal volcano in Batangas. Since last month, state volcanologists have monitored an increase in real-time seismic energy and low levels of sulfur dioxide emissions. This means that on the surface, the crater is not emitting gas, but inside, there may be a blockage of pathways that could lead to short-term pressurization and trigger an eruption. It could be phreatic or steam-driven, or even a minor one with some magma or molten rock.
Yung trend niya is bumababa na po. Pero still, again, abnormal pa rin ang lagay ng Taal dahil yung based on the latest sulfur dioxide measurement, mababa yung sulfur or yung asupre na ibinubuga ng Taal ngayon. It could indicate nga po na may blockage.
Coming up, let's provide context on private hospitals' claim that they are owed hundreds of millions in overdue payments for indigent care. That and more when Morning Matters returns after a quick break. Good morning, I'm Gretchen Juan here at Morning Matters. We talk about the most pressing issues and give you the context behind the headlines. Malacanang is appealing to private hospitals to complete the necessary documents so they can be paid promptly by the government. Now, this comes after the Private Hospitals Association of the Philippines raised concerns over delays and reimbursements, prompting some hospitals to reconsider accepting guarantee letters for indigent patients. Now, according to Palace Press Officer Claire Castro, the Health Department has reported that the issue affects only 39 hospitals in Batangas.
Nakausap po natin mismo ang pamunuan ng DOH at sinasabi nila na 39 hospitals lamang po sa Batangas ang nagkakaroon ngayon ng usapin patungkol sa di umanong pagbabayad ng mabilisan ng mga amount base sa guarantee letters. Dahil ito po daw ay wala pang kaukulang mga dokumentong na isusumite. Pero hindi po nangangahulugan na yung ibang mga hospitals po ay nagkakaroon ng problema pagdating po sa bayaran. Zero billing, ha? At dapat nga po ay hindi na po kinakailangan yung medical assistance for indigent and financially incapacitated patients dahil dapat zero na po ang balanse dahil po sa PhilHealth. Meron po tayong mga listahan po dito ng mga DOH hospitals na hindi po kailangan ng guarantee letters.
The Happy President Dr. Jose de Grano earlier said the delay in payments is putting pressure on hospital funds, with a backlog of requests and limited staff to process them. While the DOH has released the budget, more guarantee letters continue to come in, leaving hospitals with significant receivables. Let's discuss that issue more with the Happy President Dr. Jose de Grano, who joins us live on Morning Matters. Magandang umaga po sa inyo.
Good morning, Gretchen, sa ating po mga nanonood. Opo.
Okay, Doctor, the spokesperson of Malacanang has already spoken. She says there are only 39 hospitals in Batangas that are involved with the delayed payments. Could you corroborate this statement? Is it an accurate depiction of how big this problem is?
39 out of around 43 private hospitals po yan sa buong Batangas. Significant po yun kasi 39 out of 43 or 44 private hospitals. So, ibig sabihin po, almost all the private hospitals are affected.
Bakit ho Batangas at Batangas lang po ba yung hindi pa nababayaran?
So far, yun po ang na-collect namin na information. Although there are sporadic cases po all over na sinasabi na lang nila na they stopped already accepting yung GLs because medyo delayed yung payments. But dito nga po, dun sa buong province, medyo nag-accumulate po to the point of around 500 million plus. Kaya po medyo na ang mga hospitals po were already na natakot na po baka medyo affected na po yung kanilang mga operating expenses.
So sa ngayon ho sa Batangas ay hindi na muna tumatanggap ng mga guarantee letters?
No, plan po namin yon just in case talagang hindi kami bayaran. And we have informed the Secretary of Health and of course the region concerned. And sabi naman po nila sa pakikipag-usap ay gagawa nilang paraan to fast track the payments.
Okay. Ito nga pong sabi nyo nga po 500 million yung hindi pa nababayaran. Pero sabi po ng Malacanang, they're calling out for documents to be processed already, to be submitted rather, so they can be processed already. Mukhang may kakulangan din po sa parte ng mga ospital. Tama po ba yung aming pagkakaintindi?
Well, that is their side po. But for our hospitals, most of them have already submitted all the documents.
Okay. Help us or describe to us this process of actually from the patient, the indigent patient going to the hospital at yung pagbigay ng guarantee letter hanggang sa pag-claim po ng reimbursement. Maaari niyo po bang mailatag para lang din po malinaw yung buong proseso?
Yes. Yes po. Halimbawa, na-admit po yung patient and then of course, may hospital bill siya. ibabawas na po natin diyan yung bago siya ma-discharge. For discharge na po itong mga pasyente na ito, no? Ibabawas na po ang PhilHealth diyan. Kung meron man silang HMO, ibabawas yan. Kung meron silang mga tinatawag nating GL din from their mayor, from the whatever government official na may MOA with the hospitals, ibabawas na po yan. Then, halimbawa, meron pa pong remaining na balance na gusto nilang bayaran, then they will go to their mga congressman, senator. They will ask for GLs or guarantee letters, and these are approved supposedly by the Department of Health, and then ipapasa po niya sa hospitals, and then because may MOA naman po kami, so ina-accept po namin yung MOA na yan, yung mga GLs na yan, and then ipapasa na po namin, babalik namin together with the other documents sa region po. And then yun po, maghihintay na po kami ng payment.
Okay. Ano po mga dokumento ang pinapasa po mula sa private hospital part? I mean, is this manual at gaano karaming papeles yung kinakailangan para magkaroon ng reimbursement?
Usually po, let's say ang problem lang nila hindi kulang ng payment for mga laboratories, even professional fees. Isasama po nila yon doon sa document na yon. Ito ang kulang na lang. Let's say ang kakulangan lang nila yung mga around 10 to 15,000. Isasama po nila yon. And then dadaan po yan sa social worker, i-check nila, and then after that, pwede po, ready for submission na po yon.
Oo. Pero hindi naman po mahirap yung pag-submit ng dokumento mula sa mga ospital.
Hindi po. Usually hindi. Wala naman pong masyadong in-expect na mga ibang documents pa. Basta meron lang pong okay na nung social worker at na-check na talagang nag-fit sila sa MI-5 na mga pwedeng bigyan, ay yun po. Ino-okay na po yan.
At pagkatapos po noon, payment should be done under the MOA within how many days?
Supposedly within 60 days po.
Pero sa ngayon, gaano katagal na po? Hindi nababayaran yung mga ospital?
Kasi kaya po medyo nag-worry na po yung mga hospitals kasi 2 months ago, sinabi na po namin na itong kakulangan na yan. And then medyo nagbayad po sila ng pakonti-konti, and then continuous naman po ang pasok ng GLs, kaya medyo halos ganun pa rin po presently ang kakulangan nila, mga around 480 million pa rin po ang kakulangan nila.
Pero gaano katagal po? I mean, kasi they're supposed to be given 60 days to pay. So yung outstanding po, gaano katagal na po yan?
Yung iba pong payables nila na dapat last year pa po yung iba kaya nag-worry yung iba naming hospitals.
Okay. Pero ito pong pero parang nabayaran po kayo ng 500 million recently. Am I correct? And when were those payments done?
Binigyan po kami ng list ng that they were able to pay already 577 million. But then nakalagay din po doon na meron pa rin silang payables to us worth around 480 million for this around 39 hospitals.
So kumbaga para nababayaran naman po medyo mabagal lang kumpara doon sa pagbuhos ng mga GL.
Yes, siguro po ganon kasi medyo dumaan po yung election, ganyan, and bureaucracy ng government, etc. At sabi nga po nila kulang sila sa manpower.
Your group also raised concerns that since some patients were endorsed by political candidates who failed to win seats in the recent midterm elections, na hindi po mababayaran, no? Lalong-lalo na galing sa kanila yung mga GL. Gaano kalaki yung spike in guarantee letters during the election period?
Palagi ko, malaki po yun. But then, hindi naman po kami masyado nag-worry doon because iba po itong MAIPIF fund. Kasi ito po, meron talagang funding yan from Department of Health. Iba pa po yung funding ng mga individual na, let's say, politicians. Yun po ang medyo nag-worry kami kasi kung hindi sila manalo, baka hindi mabayaran yun. Pero ito po, MAIPIF fund po ito, guaranteed po yan ng government.
Yun nga ho, no? So yun nga po nakapagtataka, no? Kasi sa totoo lang hindi na po dapat Hindi
Yes.
na kinakailangan dumaan talaga sa politiko kasi dapat sa DOH na no? Yung guarantee letter manggagaling. Pero, I mean, taking a look at the GLs, most of them still come from politicians.
Yes. Opo, karamihan po talaga. Even nga po, sabi nila, mga president ng mga association of barangay captains, may mga nag-i-endorse din po gano'n.
But is that a significant issue here in the delay of payments, or most of it is really with the DOH when it comes to disbursements?
Palagay ko po yung sa disbursement na lang yan. Hopefully, meron nga po talagang na-release sa kanila na funding from the DBM. And then from the DBM po, dapat di-distribute na po yan sa different CHDs or regional offices. And then from the regional offices, dapat po, diretso na po yan sa mga private facilities.
Oo nga ho, pero ito pong ma-IFIP, iba po yung issue na ito mula dun sa ni-raise nyo po last year, which is yung PhilHealth delayed payments. How is that?
Iba po ang
What is the
PhilHealth.
update on that?
Yeah. Iba pa po yung PhilHealth. Ang PhilHealth po, siyempre, iba pang agency yon. But right now po, wala naman kami nagiging problem with PhilHealth. Mabilis po ang payment nila. Except, siyempre, meron pa pong pagkakautang na ini-negotiate pa rin po namin with them.
Isa ngayon po itong ma-IFIP, pag titingnan po natin yung batas, wala po talagang batas na sumasakop dito. Ito po ay under MOA. With the DOH and private hospitals. Kaya talagang maaaring magbago. Depende na lang din dun sa mga payments na nangyayari, pati na rin sa hospital discretion. Kung kayo po ay ang masusunod, ano po kayang amendments ang magagawa po ninyo para maging tuloy-tuloy yung pagbayad na yan? At hindi po palagi nagkakaroon ng issue dito sa delayed payments. Kumbaga parang once in a while, we always hear from you. Representing the private hospitals, of course, na hindi pa nagbabayad, laging delayed. Ano po kayang maaaring magbago sa proseso para mapadali yan?
Actually, under the law po, itong MyFIF Fund, kasama po yan dun sa, I think, sa GAA na pinrovide po sa Department of Health. So marami pong pera talaga na pinanggagalingan yan. Actually, yung sa GAA po, I think 200 billion plus ang binigay sa Department of Health. And I think that's part of it, yung MyFIF Fund. Kasi covered naman po yan ng administrative order na nirelease nitong last year. So nagkakaroon nga po ng MOA between the private hospitals. Kasi kung kulang po ang facilities ng government, pupunta po ang mga pasyente sa private. At yun po, doon po pumapasok yung ating MyFIF Fund.
Okay, so sa ngayon, lahat po ng pasyente na may guarantee letter, hindi po dapat tinatanggihan. Tama po ba?
Yes po, kasi may MOA po kami with the Department of Health. Kaya ngayon, kung ayaw na po nilang, let's say, yung private facility po ayaw na nilang tumanggap, then they will have to inform the regional office na ayaw na po nila. And then, yun po, pwede na po silang tumigil.
Okay, so it's merely a matter of processing and disbursing if we boil it down to the core of the problem.
Yes po. I think nagkaroon lang ng, siguro, alam nyo naman sa government, yung bureaucratic process, may problem.
Actually, matagal nga po maningil talaga. Kahit
Yes.
saan. Oo. Okay. But the DOH says it has already released funds. Is P happy seeing improvements on the ground?
Hopefully po, ma-receive na namin in a week or two. At na-promise naman po yan ng taga-region na ginagawa nila talaga ng paraan to speed up the process.
Oo. Nabanggit ko, kasi pinakikinggan ko po yung diskusyon nyo ni Manong Ted regarding PhilHealth on the debit credit payment system. So ano po yung payment system dito po sa MyFIP?
MyFIP po, siyempre may funding po sila. It's for us naman to, kasi yung guarantee letter supposedly should come from the MyFIP Fund. So mag-yan lang po, mag-aano lang po kami dyan magpa-file lang kami ng aming mga sa GLs, and then that's the time na kukunin naman po nila or babayaran na naman po kami. Kasi these are services already rendered to our patients. At yun nga po, dahil minsan mas malaki masyado yung exposure, especially ng mga maliliit na hospital, medyo nahihirapan po sila minsan sa operating expenses pag hindi agad nabayaran.
Pero wala pa naman ho nagsasara. I mean, because of these delayed payments.
So parang hindi naman po because of that, nagagawa naman po ng paraan pa.
Tama po kayo for raising this concern. 39 out of 43 hospitals in Batangas.
Yes.
Thank you so much.
Sabi nila 39 lang, pero remember, 39 out of 43 po yan. Hindi naman yan. Ibig sabihin, they compose more than, more than 90% of all private hospitals in our region.
Thank you so much for putting that in the proper context. Pero itatanong po namin ang mga concerns po ninyo because we have the Department of Health on the line right after this. But in the meantime, maraming salamat po for being with us and explaining to us the concerns of the private hospitals sector. We have the happy President, Dr. Jose De Grano, joining us today. Maraming salamat.
Thank you very much.
And still on this matter, let's get the side of Department of Health. We have the DOH spokesperson and Assistant Secretary Albert Domingo on the line. Magandang umaga po sa inyo, ASEC.
Magandang umaga, Gretchen, and magandang umaga rin. I know na done na siya, pero to a very good friend, Dr. Jose De Grano of Happy. Go ahead, Gretchen.
Okay, ASEC, siguro we'd like to get your reaction to the numbers. I mean, 39 out of 43 hospitals in Batangas have not been paid. Help us understand why.
Yeah, Gretchen, I like how you said it. 39 out of 43 hospitals in Batangas. Remember, this is an isolated incident in Batangas. I think a lot of the traction that happened over the weekend is people thought that it was nationwide. So we are looking at, and Dr. De Grano is correct, there are human resource implications. There are reasons within our control which we are working on. But let's go straight to the matter. Bakit ba kasi nagiging guarantee letter pa yung transaction? So sinasabi nga namin, when you are at the Department of Health, we don't even need guarantee letters because the assistance is provided directly by a medical social worker.
What do you mean by this? I mean, na pagpasok nila sa ospital, dapat hindi nang hinihinga ng guarantee letter?
Yeah, because Gretchen, when you are at the medical social worker sa station, dun sa medical assistant sa sinasabi, there is a registered social worker, a professional, PRC license, who evaluates the patient or the family of the patient as to economic condition. There should be no political consideration.
So we have waived already, the DOH has waived already the importance or the use of these guarantee letters in effect.
Alam mo, Gretchen, it's not even the DOH. I just keep on forgetting the name of the case, but there is a Supreme Court ruling that actually says when the budget is already within the execution stage or in the part of the executive, dapat talaga it's already like, it's a procedural, kine-carry out na lang siya. Hindi na kailangan ng guarantee letter. So, yun ang medyo isang point na nako-confuse kami na bakit naging issue to. Kasi hindi dapat issue yung mga guarantee letters na yan by law.
Well, the hospitals cannot hold patients hostage because of that. But on the other end, mga ospital naman po ang magsasuffer kung hindi sila mabayaran on time ng gobyerno. Bakit po kaya may delay?
But Gretchen, again, I'll go back, no? Why are we even premising the obligation or the role, the task, on a guarantee letter? Because like I said, the Supreme Court already said there should be no interference, if I may use the word, no? I think it's written in the Supreme Court decision. When it comes to the operations of the executive, pag medical assistance, dapat talaga registered social worker lang yung nagsasabi. At kung kailangan, because these are trained professionals, as we do in our DOH hospitals, then binibigay yung assistance.
Pero saan kaya nagkakaroon ng backlog? I mean, where is the hurdle in terms of processing these payments?
Gretchen, all processes have backlogs, whether it's PhilHealth, whether it's DOH, whether it's DFWD, and we all try to improve it. So it's not about trying to find the diagnosis. It's about going back to the principle. Why are we even dealing, Gretchen, with the concept of guarantee letters?
Pero sa under the MOA, the hospitals should receive payment within 60 days. Is that correct?
Yes, and Gretchen, who are the parties to the MOA? The parties are the Department of Health and the hospital. Diba?
Oo. So, in effect, itong mga delay, hindi po dapat nangyayari, di po ba?
No, it's not about a delay, Gretchen. I keep on bringing it back to the matter. Alam mo kung bakit pumutok to? Kasi guarantee letter yung pinag-uusapan. There have always been several transactions going on and they are being addressed. I just wonder why the delays came out because of the issue of the guarantee letter that to begin with should be a non-issue.
So, I guess the DOH will already settle its outstanding balance with hospitals of about like 480 million.
That's the figure as of, I don't know what the reckoning date of Dr. De Grano is, no? But my staff tells me it's actually much lower than that. And again, these things happen all the time. Reconciliation, kapag tayo ay nasa tindahan, tapos sasabihin palista, siyempre may reckoning yan, may reconciliation. But again, it happens all the time. Pumutok lang to, Gretchen, kasi dun sa guarantee letter.
But would you have more information as to how long this balance has not been paid?
To our reckoning, it's only a matter of, I think, 1 or 2 months. And it's because of the volume that increased, particularly nung nagkaroon ng para bang mga requests over the March, April, or May period, yes.
Which is during the election season. Kaya nagkaroon ng worries.
Well, all I'm saying is March, April, May, Gretchen. The words came from you.
Okay, pero I mean, the 1 to 2 month period seems to be within reasonable time as it is within the 60-day period, no? Pero I guess ano po ang appeal po ninyo, no, sa mga publiko na natatakot na ngayon, di nila sigurado kung saan sila pupunta for medical services?
Okay. So wag po tayong matatakot sa lahat ng publikong nakikinig, no? Ang ating na pag-usapan nga po natin, 39, 39 na ospital lamang po sa probinsya ng Batangas at hindi naman po lahat ito ng ospital. Marami pang ibang ospital. Otherwise, sa ibang bahagi ng Pilipinas ay tuloy pa rin po yung ating mga memorandum of agreement with the private hospitals. I'm sure as a PHAPI President De Grano, Dr. De Grano also acknowledges, it's only in Batangas at inaayos na po natin yung problemang yon. It's only a matter of processing and regular transactions po na matatapos. Meanwhile, kung may concern po ang ating mga kababayan, pwede naman pong pumunta sa DOH hospitals kung saan hindi kailangan ng guarantee letter.
Ibig sabihin dito po sa private hospital, technically, sa binabanggit po ninyo, hindi na kailangan ng guarantee letter. Sila ay dapat pumunta lang doon sa social worker assigned doon sa private hospital and they can get their treatment, just submit a proof of indigency and then leave the hospital after the treatment. Ganun lang po kasimple yun.
Yes, Gretchen, that is how we do it in the DOH hospitals. Of course, we can't control how the private hospitals run their shop. Pero we would recommend na dapat ganoon na rin sana. Use your medical social workers who are registered social workers under the PRC, no? Para yung it will not be, sabihin na natin, discretionary. It should be purely based on the financial capacity, as is the name of the program. Kaya nga siya medical assistance to indigent and financially incapacitated patients.
Okay, pero of course on the other side of the equation, yung private hospitals natin, I mean, we also have to protect their existence and their business. Kasi kapag dumami tapos hindi talaga sila mabayaran, paano po, no, kung mag-downsize o talagang magsara? So what is the DOH doing on its part to be able to protect the hospitals?
Well, Gretchen, we are honoring our commitment. As I would like to highlight again, as acknowledged by PHAPI, the incident only involves 39 out of, it should not be 39 out of 43 nga eh. Ang denominator niyan, Gretchen, it should be 39 out of hundreds or maybe I think 1,000 or 2,000 private hospitals all over the country. The balance of which are all being attended to by DOH, and the 39, I'm sure they're also listening or watching, will also be attended to, and that is our commitment.
Okay. Pagdating naman po sa mga public hospitals natin at DOH-accredited hospitals, zero billing policy na po. Tama po ba? Ano pong ibig sabihin po niyan?
Yung zero billing policy natin na Gretchen, that applies to yung ating mga ward accommodation. Kaya pag binasa natin yung Universal Healthcare Act, ito po yung ward or basic accommodation. But I would like to highlight, Gretchen, meron kasing para bang misperception na, ay nako, pag ward yan, pangit yan or hindi maganda. Alam niyo po, lalo na sa mga DOH hospitals, yung mga ward natin in-upgrade na, maraming sa kanila air-conditioned na rin at mas malinis na. Our public hospitals are in a much better state now than they were a few years ago.
So, just for no hassle, if the patients want to get guaranteed medical care, they should head on over to a DOH-accredited hospital or a public hospital. But if they go to the private hospital and hindi po tinanggap yung guarantee letter, ay magsusumbong lamang sila sa DOH.
Yeah, pwede yun, number one. Or number two, baka kailangan para bang tignan natin yung prinsipyo ng universal healthcare. Kasi yung mga private hospitals, they are actually required by law to maintain 10% of their authorized bed capacity as sabihin na nating zero balance billing beds. Ibig sabihin, pag ang private hospital has 100 beds, dapat may 10 kama na no balance billing. We understand na pupuno po yun. Meron naman tayong transfer mechanisms na kung pwede silang i-transfer or i-refer ng ating private hospital papunta sa pinakamalapit na DOH hospital kung saan sasagutin namin sila.
Alright, maraming salamat sa paglilinaw po ninyo dito sa issue na ito, and it's good to know that the payments are happening and the patients should be taken care of. In the meantime, maraming salamat po for joining us today on Morning Matters. That was DOH spokesperson ASEC Albert Domingo. Coming right up, Senate President Cheese Escudero's position seems secure as a supermajority in the Senate rallies behind him, diminishing the chances of a leadership shakeup. However, supporters of Senator Tito Soto are not giving up their push. And text and email alerts will now be sent to motorists caught for traffic violations via the no-contact apprehension policy. The public is urged, however, to watch out for scams, as MMDA warned that official notices will not contain any links for payment. Don't go away, more on that when Morning Matters returns. Keep it here on One News. Welcome back. You're still watching Morning Matters here on One News. A so-called supermajority in the Senate is backing Senate President Cheese Escudero, making any leadership change unlikely. But the camp pushing for Senator Tito Soto is not giving up just yet. Here is the full report.
Not just a majority, but a supermajority. That's how strong the support is for Senate President Cheese Escudero, at least according to Senate President Pro Tempore Jinggoy Estrada. Estrada said a resolution backing Escudero's leadership is making the rounds among senators.
We have enough numbers, more than 13, I suppose. And I think Senate President Cheese Escudero is already secured of having his next term as Senate President.
Senators Joel Villanueva and Alan Peter Cayetano have also voiced their support for Escudero. But former Senate President Mig Zubiri had a different take, saying he's rooting for Senator Tito Soto to return as Senate Chief.
Eh di wow. Congratulations. Pagka ganun, anything can still happen. Gusto sana namin protektahan ang integridad ng Senado. Maawa na kayo. Bugbog ng Senado. Sa matang tao, bugbog ng Senado. So, never say die.
Zubiri also voiced frustration over how committee chairmanships were assigned, claiming some qualified senators were left out.
Yung chairmanship kasi na yun, parang binibigay sa mga not so qualified. Dahil nga, hampas lupa na kami. Dead hungry, patay gutom na kami. So, paglaban na namin yung integridad ng Senado.
Estrada quickly clapped back, questioning who Zubiri was referring to as unqualified and challenging him to name names. Zubiri said that if Soto fails to win the leadership, he's ready to rejoin the minority bloc in the Senate.
A bill seeking to overhaul the Philippines budget system was filed in the House of Representatives. The House bill, authored by Speaker Martin Romualdez and two party list lawmakers, proposes a shift to an annual cash-based budget, limiting appropriations to a single fiscal year to reduce waste and speed up government spending. The measure would require agencies to complete projects within the year with only a 3-month extension for catch-up. It also restricts lump sum funds and caps on program appropriations at 3% of the total budget. Content creator and entrepreneur Josh Mojica has issued a public apology after authorities suspended his driver's license for 90 days over a viral video showing him using a mobile phone while driving. In a statement released Monday, Mojica admitted wrongdoing, saying he takes full responsibility and has no intention of playing the victim. The video, which showed him filming himself in selfie mode while driving a luxury vehicle along a highway, quickly spread across social media. The Land Transportation Office cited him for reckless driving, violating the Anti-Distracted Driving Act, and being an improper person to operate a motor vehicle. Meanwhile, motorists flagged for traffic violations under the no contract apprehension policy will now receive alerts via text and email. According to the MMDA, alerts will be sent after manual review and verification of CCTV footage. Drivers must ensure their contact details are updated with the LTO to receive these notifications.
Kailangan sila po mismo ay mag-update dahil ang magiging basihan po namin ay yung email and cellphone number na nakalagay sa record ng LTO as of this time. Kasi hindi naman po namin pwedeng isa-isahin na i-confirm pa na, uy, updated na ba to? Kaya nga po, nananawagan kami na i-update nyo po yung record nyo sa LTO para po kung may violation ay ma-receive nyo po kaagad yung pong notice.
MMDA Chairman Don Artes warned that the official messages will not contain the payment links and urged the public to watch out for scams. The agency added that more updates to the NCAP system are expected in the coming months.
Nananawagan po kami na maging mapanuri yung ating mga kababayan. May safeguards naman po. Again, MMDA_NCAP dapat yung nagpapadala ng notice. And secondly, dapat po walang number na nakalagay.
As ASEAN neighbors rise to upper middle income status, the Philippines remains stuck in place. What is holding us back and what will it take to catch up? The answer in this report by One News anchor Kathy Yam.
From President Trump's April 2 Liberation Day tariffs to the volatility in oil following the recent Middle East escalations, foreign investors in the Philippines say the biggest risk still is something closer to home.
Number one would still be bureaucracy, the ease of doing business. That has been always on the table of the German companies whenever they do business here.
Such shortfalls resurface as the World Bank's recent report revealed the Philippines remains a lower middle income country as ASEAN neighbors Malaysia, Thailand, and Indonesia pull away into the upper middle income club. As for Thailand, while still in the same league as the Philippines, its economy has powered ahead faster, farther, and further than the Philippines has in 40 years.
Big companies have chosen to locate in Vietnam in a way that the Philippines is kind of struggling to attract these big investments in the region. They're quite strong in electronics, electronic products. For example, they can produce entire laptops, entire smartphones, even electric vehicles in a way that we can't.
Compared to our ASEAN neighbors, the Philippines also lags behind in terms of labor productivity, says Ronald Balbieran of the University of Asia and the Pacific, in the areas of agriculture, construction, logistics, as well as wholesale and retail trade. As the Marcos administration pledged to pursue economic reforms and help raise income status, Philippine think tank PIDS calls for a return to good governance.
Political risk actually generate economic risk. That's why there might be a need for us to be able to manage political noise by diverting attention, resources on economic affairs that would truly matter and create value for the economy. Well, for the economic managers, they can actually reinforce the structural reforms, but the implementation would have to be strengthened, particularly in the ease of doing business, particularly in infrastructure spending.
At a time of heightened global uncertainty, the Philippines faces its greatest battle yet, its own self. Kathy Yang, We Are One News.
Stay tuned. Morning Matters will be back right after a short break. Welcome back. You're still watching Morning Matters here on One News. One died while two others were injured following an explosion inside an ammunition factory in Marikina City. The blast occurred yesterday afternoon, shaking the compound and alarming nearby residents. Initial reports indicate that a primer, a highly combustible bullet component, triggered the blast. Authorities say the chemical can ignite from heat or static friction. 3 male employees were rushed to the hospital, one fatally hit by shrapnel in the chest, while another had to undergo amputation.
Sabi ng iudig K9 ay dahil yung katawan natin ay may ano rin parang friction yan. Parang friction. Di ba minsan yung kung may katabi tayo, parang makakurente tayo. So, nag-ignite siya. Ayun, nag-ignite nga kasi mainit yung
Fighter jets from the Philippines and the United States soared in formation over Luzon, marking the start of the second phase of this year's Cope Thunder military exercises. Philippine FA-50 light combat aircraft flew alongside U.S. Pacific Air Force F-35S in a rare and strategic display of Allied air power. The exercises aim to strengthen air interoperability between the two longtime allies amid growing tensions in the Indo-Pacific region, especially in the West Philippine Sea. Now, this year's drills focus on joint coordination, air combat training, and response readiness in simulated conflict scenarios. More than 2,000 military personnel are participating in what is now considered the largest Cope Thunder exercise to date.
Mas maganda po yung impact niya sa atin sa training, and this is a great opportunity for us to enhance our interoperability, coordination, and operational effectiveness as we face prevailing challenges dito sa ating region.
In weather, the southwest monsoon or habagat is affecting most parts of the country. Scattered rains are expected over Metro Manila, Ilocos, Cordillera, Central Luzon, Calabarzon, Zamboanga Peninsula, and the Bangsamoro region, as well as in Batanes, Occidental Mindoro, Palawan, Antique, Aklan, Sultan Kudarat, and Babuyan Islands. The rest of the country may expect isolated rains also due to the habagat. No low-pressure areas is being monitored inside the Philippine territory. And in sports, the Philippines is set to host its first-ever World Athletics-sanctioned pole vault competition on September 20 and 21 at the Ayala Triangle Gardens in Makati, called the Atletang Ayala Pole Vault Challenge. The event is led by world number 4 EJ Obiena in partnership with Atletang Ayala. The event is expected to feature top international athletes fresh from the World Championships. The initiative is backed by Ayala Executive Jaime Alfonso Zobel de Ayala and Olympian Jasmine Alcalde, head of the Atletang Ayala program. Well, let's all head on over to that event this coming September 20 and 21, and let's support our athletes. And that wraps up today's episode of Morning Matters. We hope we've given you the right start to your morning. Let's go ahead and make the day matter. My name is Gretchen Ho, your One News, all sides, all the time.